welcome to Poster Studio at Step 2026, and we've got toothbrushes today in the studio. So, introduce yourself, please.
All right, my name is Omer Elrayah. I'm a dentist in the States, and I'm also the founder of RemoBrush, which is a toothbrush that focuses on sustainability, but we use miswak, which is a natural twig, on our bristles. So we're the first to ever do that.
So what brings you to Step? The toothbrushes?
So I was already I was already in the area. I was in Doha last week, and since I'm in the area, I said, you know what, let's try to get as much coverage as possible. And the GCC market is something that's very essential for me. So I said, you know what, Step sounds like a really good idea. It's a huge AI conference, so it's nice to have like a physical product that can be a little bit different. So a lot of people here were very attracted to the idea, so it worked out well.
I was going to ask, is it an AI toothbrush?
Not yet, but maybe it might be. But no, it's a physical product. People love, something that they can touch. So, and it was attractive. So a lot of people came to our booths just to see what's going on.
So what made you, as a dentist, at some point of time after you graduated, instead of actually going into a dentist practice, go into business and arrange your own startup?
Yeah. So I still work as a clinical dentist, but a lot of my patients, they suffered from gum sensitivity, bad breath, and cavities and gum sensitivity. So naturally, I told them, use the miswak twig. It's something that's been used all across the world. It has a lot of benefits, and a lot of them didn't want to use it because it's something that's from a tree, and that's when I said, okay, you know what? Try using it. They still didn't want to use it. I went to the pharmacies. They didn't find anything like this, and I said, let's try to make it a little bit more modern. So that's what this idea started with. It started with a hobby, and then a lot of people kind of picked it up, and from there I said, okay, let's kind of prioritize this and go from there.
And so how many years ago did you start?
5 months ago. We launched 5 months ago. Within those 5 months in the US, UK, we've sold a little over 20,000 of these brushes. And so we're trying to...
Are you like selling it to
online.
Your clients, or you're selling it online more?
We're selling it online, So online, we just got on Amazon, TikTok Shop. So we're mainly in the US, the UK, Canada, and now we're trying to enter the GCC market, just because it's something that's very familiar with the natives here.
Are you positioning yourself as a startup or more of a sort of a consumer brand operating like an e-commerce rather?
So as a startup, but still, in that space as well, like an e-commerce kind of startup. But we're trying to get into more retail, wholesale, and then eventually toiletries for airlines, and then Umrah/Hajj packages.
So how do you balance that with your sort of clinical practice? That probably is difficult, isn't it?
It's very crazy. It's very crazy. So I work literally in the morning, and then what's nice about this is it's kind of like on autopilot now. So thankfully I have a fulfillment center that kind of distributes a lot of our orders. So I don't have that headache, and I have a nice team with me that does marketing, that does email marketing as well. So it's kind of running on autopilot, but I'm still always there. But it's a headache, but I love doing it. It's cool.
If you were to choose to like sort of stick to your clinical practice or to continue as the founder, what would you choose? I know I don't ask easy questions.
No, it's a good question.
It's a tough
a lot of people have asked me that. I know a lot of the doctors that I work with, they want me to stay in the chair, but I feel like I would love to do both. But I would love to kind of step away a little bit from clinical and focus more on this because it makes a really big impact. One, we're helping to stop plastic waste. That's number one. And number two, we're helping combat disparities of oral care, not just in one area, but over the whole world. So that's a much more greater impact than what I can do in the chair. So that's what I want to prioritize.
So the question is to you as somebody who also wants to be in practice constantly, to be able to know, there's a moment in every founder's probably life when, so you're driven by the passion now, but you're also a great expert in your field, like you're a great clinical dentist. Who are you anticipating any sort of risk of forgetting your practice or losing your skills or connection to your medical identity sort of this way?
I don't think so. I think, I graduated, and since I graduated, I've done a lot of clinical instructing at different universities, including Harvard, and I also taught like Tufts students, Boston University students. So the passion is always there, and clinically, I'm still advancing as a dentist, and I think the passion and for that is still going to be there, and I don't think it's something I'll forget, because I will be in the chair, but just not as much.
So we have a lot of doctors, by the way, here in Dubai, who are either looking into going to their practice as a business, right, or opening their own clinics or starting their own practice. So what would be your piece of advice to somebody who is a doctor, who is a medical expert, and who's also moving towards having their own business? So what would be your piece of advice to them?
Make sure as ethical as possible. As long as everything is as ethical as possible and you have passion, you'll succeed. And with people being clinical experts, they know what is right, what is wrong, and how to better improve products and devices. When I first launched this, the amount of people that came up to me saying I had the idea but I just didn't execute it was insane. So if you have the idea, just go for it. That's the best advice I can do.
Did you come up with the toothbrush idea yourself, or you kind of like it's okay to brainstorm with somebody? So you might have like a vision that this gap is there, but I don't know how to materialize that. Somebody's like, okay, create the toothbrushes. I mean, that's okay, right? It's a simple thing to enter that space, right?
Exactly. Collaboration is amazing. In terms of this, I was looking to see if there was somebody who was doing it, and it was to my surprise that nobody was doing it. So I said, okay, well, let's just try and see how it goes. And it wasn't until like I started doing it and I started putting it on Launch Good, on Kickstarter, and I started getting a lot of people interested in wanting to try it, and then getting a lot of customer feedback and improving the product, that kept me going and kept the motivation there. So it was nice. So if you have an idea and you want to partner with somebody, perfect. But if not, I think the startup community is very welcoming to newcomers, and there are always people that are gonna help you out.
Do you find platforms like Step really helping to founders like yourself?
I love these kind of events, not only for selling but also for networking. The amount of network possibilities you can get by going to Step, to going to Web Summit, to going all these kind of summits around the area, that not just focusing on AI but focusing on helping improving startups, is key. You have to put yourself out there. You have to kind of network, get yourself on LinkedIn, and kind of just don't be too scared. Just go out there and just face a lot of criticism, feedback, and just improve as you are.
I think what's good about Step as well is Step is combining nicely different topics. You've got an AI hub that is pretty big. And you've got a wellness hub that is pretty big, right? And look how healthcare is integrating really nicely into this whole narrative. Yesterday I had somebody who was innovating within a tradition of praying in Dubai, right? And they also had a physical product, and that was so fresh for me. So I think from that perspective, it's really organically integrating different types of businesses that are coming here to network and advertise.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I just the last question, because I know there are lots of doctors and medical experts there who would like to probably, replicate the path that you've already taken. So do you need to be a better businessman or a better medical expert to follow a path like yours?
I think so. Of course, you need to have some business motivation behind it. I think everybody should try to aim to become an entrepreneur of some sorts, but I think that you're going to learn as you go. So you're not going to know anything 100%. So as long as you have, the passion and the motivation and the time, do it. And then you're going to learn as you go, as you network, as you go to conferences, as you meet new people, you're going to constantly adapt. And when we first started with zero sales, I had very minimal experience with business, with e-commerce and all that kind of stuff. I learned as I went, and 25,000 brushes later sold. It's just the motivation's still there, and I'm still learning. So if you have, if you're a medical practitioner and you have some sort of idea, do it and see where it goes. Yeah.
So who was your biggest mentor at the very first stage?
Ooh, good question. A lot of people. I think Chris from Launch Good was it's basically like a halal kind of startup community and charity website. He was a really big mentor and inspiration. There's other people from like Qalam Institute that I look up to. Different kind of people who started from nothing and just made a product. I look up to it. So a lot of times when I come to these events, I get inspired by somebody who's just starting or just some sort of idea. Like, how did you get to that point? That was a really great, because everybody has their own path, but I think we're all trying to kind of succeed together. And as long as we're helping each other, I think there's room for everybody.
And who was the biggest helper in terms of practical stuff? Like, to come up with a product, to produce that product, to launch the first sales, etc. So who helped you the most?
My brothers. My brothers, definitely. We do like apparel on the side, but this one was solely just me, but I always have like their support. So family for sure was definitely the biggest support in advertisements and motivation and kind of giving me criticism of how it looks. So definitely my brothers first, and then after all the other kind of entrepreneurs and business leaders second that I've met along the way.
Love it. Thank you so much. That was very inspiring. Hopefully all the healthcare community that is listening to this particular episode will be inspired with what you've done.
Thank you.
And I think this is an amazing way to enter the space of business.
Thank you.
And it's also very useful, and hopefully that brings you to something much bigger.
Thank you so much. Yeah, if any practitioners here are listening up, if you guys want to try it, wholesale it, put it in distributions, message us at RemoBrush.com, or you can follow me on LinkedIn, Omer Elrayah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.